Hi, you want me to what? Yeah, we're good. Do you want me to grab the car at a half or right now?
Here in just a few seconds, I got to figure out. I'll let you know.
Number 75. Sideline for football Alberta team. Starting off, the white and blue, wearing number 1, Martell. Number 3 for Alberta, Park. Number 15, Ryan Park. Number 4, Midget Park. Number 5, Lorenzen. Number 6, David. Number 7, Number 9, Number 10 for Alberta, Gavin, Number 11, Green. Number 12, Number 15, Number 11, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to midfield. Introducing our officiating crew for today's game, our wrestler is Martell.
Congratulations on making it a respectful team. See, there's a team for this game. You will call the top. Alberta, you have one call. You want to first?
Good afternoon, football fans from across the country, and welcome, if you're watching here in Winnipeg or live on Football Canada's YouTube channel, to the U16 Western Challenge 2025. Mike Still, pleased to be joined in the booth by 2014 Manitoba Bison's Hardy Cup champion, Tyler Fabry. Tyler, how you doing?
Always a pleasure, Mike. Always a pleasure. Just happy to be here to call some football games this afternoon. Great day in southern Winnipeg for some football.
Absolutely. It's been a long time since Manitoba has hosted a tournament of this magnitude. And for a lot of these players, basically all of them really, unless they do sort of those selects tournaments in certain provinces, this is going to be their first exposure to a high-level tournament such as this interprovincial tournament. We've got a great opener here between Alberta and BC. Alberta, last year's silver medalists, 18-15 loss to Saskatchewan. Tyler, that was an absolute thriller of a game. They're looking to get back to that gold medal game once again. BC, they've got something to say about it here as well. And of course, the cream of the crop, you'll see them in the second game of the day, is Team Saskatchewan, four-time defending champions at the U16 level. They play host Manitoba in our second matchup of the day, 7 p.m. start. Stay tuned for that as well. But Alberta is going to be kicking off to BC to start this game. It's going to be Akshan Gill with the kickoff, linebacker and kicker on a South Delta. Or excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong side. That is David Krashenowski with the kickoff. And it's up, and we are off here in Manitoba, fielded around the 35. Taken up past the 40, still on his feet. Great return there for BC. That's Austin Ward, the DB on a Belmont. Bringing it up. Great field position for Team BC to start, Tyler.
Yeah, interesting little strategy out of Alberta. Not sure if that was a design short little moon kick. Try to catch BC napping a little bit in the return game. Great job, as you mentioned there, Mike, by the up back to field that one clean, get positive yards, set his team up. 1st and 10, north of the 40-yard line.
First down. Two receivers to each side. It's a handoff right up the middle, but that Alberta front says absolutely not. Stuff for no gain on the play. Going to set up a 2nd and long. That is, I believe that's Liwat Yaria. However, his jersey's not fully down, so I can't confirm that for a fact. Yeah, looks like it might be 88, actually. Excuse me. That's Toby Okoro with the stop. Right in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, just a simple inside zone play to start the tournament off. Going to be drop back pass here for BC, in and out of the hands of the slot back on the sit route. Going to be a punting situation for Team BC out early.
That was TJ Hudon, the intended target. And bit of a tight one there, tight coverage right near the first down marker, in and out of the hands, and that's going to be a quick 2 and out. Alberta set to return 2 returners back for Team Alberta. That's Jacob Martell and Rylan Park, both back set to return Martell and a Calgary playing for the Calgary Wildcats, and Park out of Edmonton with the West Edmonton Raiders. And as we go throughout this tournament, we're going to talk just about the diverse experiences of these two provinces, and all four actually, and how many different schools are represented in areas in the country, as that's a great return for Alberta up past midfield, setting up their offense in a great position there. Martell off the bounce there, Tyler.
Yeah, a bit of a short punt from the BC punter there. Ball kind of floated up in the air. The humidity here pretty high this afternoon in Winnipeg. Good job by the Alberta returner, as you mentioned there, Mike. Got north and south really quick. Going to set his team up inside BC territory. First possession of the afternoon here for Team Alberta.
Quarterback Devin Banke-Babona
Sweet.
with a single back. Now motioning is Park.
Got him.
Hard count, free play here for Alberta, right up the middle.
Ball.
Fumble, not going to matter, as BC was offside on the play. They're celebrating, but Tyler, it's not going to matter.
It is going to come back. As you mentioned there, Mike, there's going to be an offside by the interior defensive tackle. Something to keep note of for fans outside of the province of BC. BC is playing 3-down football here. They play 4-down football in high school in that province, all right? So these guys are coming and adjusting from the 11-man to the 12-man game. Alberta with a little bit of motion. Hard count on the first play of the game. Was successful getting that interior D lineman to jump. Unfortunately, the fumble at the end will all be for naught. It's going to be 1st and 5. We'll do it all over again here.
Now, Tyler, when these two teams played each other last year in the first round of this Western Challenge, Alberta racked up the rushing yards in that game. They had three players with only over 70 yards rushing in that game, up close to 300 in the matchup, and early on going to the run. We'll see what the game plan is here under head coach Jordan Filippelli, the former Calgary Dino, as BC with the stop there on the 1st and 5, BC. And way downfield there was a deep block from number 80. Kenzie Robertson jacked up as he stuffed his man way downfield, but the play itself, short gain.
Yeah, and this looked like a timing little slip screen out to the field side, boundary side wide receiver. I have not called a game in a few months, and it is showing. Only going to be about a gain of 1. Going to be second and manageable here regardless for Team Alberta, coming out once again with that H-back look, 2 receivers to each side of the quarterback.
Here's Davin Banke-Babona. He's got 1 man in the backfield. 3 receivers to the strong side. It's going to be a sweep here. Fly sweep, room to the outside. 1st down and more. 2 late flags on the play. All the way down to the 25-yard line goes Ryland Park, but we'll wait to see on the laundry. Could be a hold, Tyler.
It's in that territory of holding for sure as we wait for the replay to get queued up here in the booth. Great execution, and it will indeed be a hold as we see the head official make that indication. But great job on the edge, blocking obviously a little bit too much cloth in the hands of the receiver and I believe an offensive lineman. There was 2 flags on the play. But yeah, it's going to bring it back here. It's going to end up in a 2nd and 14. Check that. It's going to be after yards were gained, so it will be a 1st down for Team Alberta. My apologies there. The hold was after the 1st down was gained, so we'll get a fresh set of downs here for Team Alberta. We'll see if they stick to the ground game or go back to the air.
We're already seeing that team speed, Tyler, out of Alberta. Jacob Martell on the punt return, and now Ryland Park. Keep an eye on Ryland Park. He's going to be a game breaker in this one. Elite speed there. Team Alberta set up inside BC territory at the 38. Banke-Babona, 2 in the backfield. Low snap, handoff, room to the outside. Staying on his feet, gain a few extra yards on 1st down. That's Derek Weigel, the 5'8", 205-pounder, laying the leather down on an Elk Point.
That's an Elk Point bowling ball right there. That man will run you over, look for contact. Bit of a full house backfield look from Team Alberta on that one. BC's defense dropping off into a 2 shell, but did a really good job of rallying up underneath to make that tackle. And we're going to get 15 additional yards tacked on at the end of the play. I didn't even see the flag on that one, Mike. I'm not sure if you did, but Alberta's going to keep moving up to the red zone here, fringe of the red zone.
I believe it was unnecessary roughness late. We've seen some extracurriculars a few times after the play here. Discipline, important to keep in mind, especially in a short tournament like this where winner goes to the gold medal, loser straight to the bronze medal game. So the stakes are high. Alberta set up at the BC 30 on their first offensive possession of this game. Davin Banke-Babona with the bowling ball. Derek Weigel in the backfield. Two receivers each side of the formation. It's Weigel taking the handoff. Great stuff by that BC defense. Getting up to make the tackle was Riker Insole on the Vernon District Minor Football Association in Vernon, BC.
Yeah, great job there. Team defense by BC has been very well so far in this opening drive for Alberta. They're moving around a lot. They're giving some exotic looks on the defense. We will see that all afternoon from this British Columbia team. But great job there, limiting the carry to about 3. It's going to be second and long here for Team Alberta.
Banke-Babona once again. The single back is Weigel. H-back on the right, setting up trips to the strong side. It's passing situation for Banke-Babona. That one's up. Great catch on the sideline. That's a first down. Looks to be near a first down. Hard to see from our vantage point, but it looks like they're moving the sticks here. That reception was made by Jacob Martell.
Great timing out once again, from Team Alberta. Just timed up that break on the out-breaking route really, really well in front of the sitting corner for Team BC. Good job there by the Alberta receiver. Gonna move the chains, gonna move this ball up inside the 5-yard line, here, Mike. We got first and goal. Another roughness penalty on Team BC. Gonna tack on some additional yards here.
That's 30 yards in URs for BC on this first drive. Not exactly the start you want in terms of discipline.
Yeah, he's playing with an edge, but there's also playing smart, right? You don't want to take those extra penalties hurting your team, especially, like you mentioned, Mike, 2-game tournament. Very, very quick turnaround in this situation. We'll see if BC's defense can make a stand or if Alberta can put up 6.
Banke-Babona split backs in the backfield, including Weigel as well as Ben Bourgeois, number 9. Now Bourgeois number 5 there. That's Michael Lorenzen. This is Banke-Babona. Touchdown! Alberta puts the shoulder down. He says, nice to meet ya. Alberta's in the end zone.
That was an absolute decision by the quarterback. Had 2 receivers essentially wide open, Said, you know what? I'm doing this myself. I see 2. I'm going to run 2 over. I'm going to put up 6 for the boys. 6 points, Alberta. What a run there by the quarterback.
Get another great look at it. That's just a replay of a few of the plays off the drive as Alberta, good job mixing up the run and the pass on that first possession. There was a late flag as well. The refs are deliberating.
We'll see what the decision is here, but there has not even been a sniff of a specialist coming off of the bench here from Alberta, so maybe they are going to go for 2. Obviously dependent on what the officials decide here.
Well, they are talking to the BC captain, so I think this might be called back. Objectionable conduct is the call. We're just waiting for the official ruling, and it is going to be a touchdown.
Okay, here come the specialists. They will indeed kick the extra. We'll see where that penalty is assessed.
Offside was 1 penalty, and then objectionable conduct the second. The second one on Alberta, the first on BC. Touchdown stands. It will be applied on the kickoff.
Yeah, it should be a 5-yard difference if my math is correct and my understanding of the minor football playbook is correct. Rulebook, But yeah, just a really good job overall by Jordan Filippelli's Team Alberta on that entire drive. Short field to start, as we had mentioned, starting on BC's 50, but just kind of methodically marching the ball downfield. A good mix of run and pass, some good timing routes by the quarterback, and a great decision there to run that one into the end zone. 4-6. Team Alberta set to kick the extra point.
That extra point is up and good. And Davin Banke-Babona, the 6'1", 155-pound quarterback out of Airdrie, Alberta, the Airdrie Raiders. Shout out Airdrie, getting in the end zone for the first touchdown of the U16 Western Challenge. Team Alberta, 1 drive, 1 score.
Absolutely near perfect start for the province of Alberta here. 2 and out on the defensive side of the ball. Short punt, great return by the special teams unit, and then a 50-yard touchdown drive led by the young quarterback there for Alberta. 7-0, just past the halfway point of the first quarter here. approaching the halfway point of the first quarter here. My apologies.
I see a lot of blue in the crowd here too. Great support from these Alberta fans. Of course, both provinces with great support, but definitely there's a single section that is all blue shirts.
Absolutely.
A whole lot of Alberta support here in Manitoba. Taking the drive out or flying, whatever's most convenient. As BC will get the opportunity to have that 5 yards, that kickoff 5 yards back, so we'll see if that benefits them on the return.
See if we get another short kick here, if that's by design or not.
As it's David Krashenescu kicked off. This one fielded by Daniel Lowe. Tries to make a move, gets away from one man, taken down. That was an excellent job by Cullen McIlwain. Originally, he was tossed off, stayed with the play, made the tackle on specials. BC starts at their 30.
Yeah, great job there once again by this Alberta cover team. Special teams units are dialed in early here in Winnipeg this afternoon. Great job covering, limiting that returner to only a handful of yards there. We'll see what BC's offense has in store coming out for their second possession of this football game.
Quarterback Owen Coelho, that's Ken Marasigan, as once again Alberta says no on first down. That was Trey Jackman on the run on the Mount Boucherie secondary in West Kelowna. A bevy of Alberta players in to make the stop.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting play design, just a split back look for Team BC. Bit of a toss play to the field side. Great job there, as you mentioned, Mike, by the strong side defenders from Team Alberta. Like taking that one for a loss, as we'll get just the tail end of the replay here. But you see 4, 5, 6 white jerseys are on the ball there.
This is Ken Marasigan on second down. That one nearly intercepted. Trying to jump that route and nearly getting there was Kalen Reed. But that one actually was grabbed on the far side, the near side, short of the first down, however, and it's another tune-out for BC.
Yeah, once again, kind of the second drive in a row, we've seen just a timing route on second down by the BC offense. Good job getting the ball out of his hands early from the quarterback. Unfortunately, going to only get about 6-7 yards there when it was 2nd and 15. So once again, punt situation. Going to be a punt safe look here from Alberta. 2 returners back.
Once again, we've got the dangerous Jacob Martell and Ryland Park have both showed their speed already. Another short punt fielded by Martell near the 50, not going anywhere. There's going to be a no yards penalty as the tackle was made by Josiah Quattel on a Mount Douglas. The Manitoba Bisons know Mount Douglas quite well here in the province. Former now head coach Brian Doby, legendary 29-year head coach for the Herd, recruited out of Mount Douglas often during his time at the U of M.
I had a plethora of teammates coming from that school when I was at the Bisons back in the day. Very, very good program they have out in BC.
Team Alberta starting at midfield. That's been the story so far, in my opinion, Tyler, is just the ideal field position for Alberta. Both of their drives. Banke Babona, handoff up the gut. Gain of about 3 there. Multiple Team BC players in to make the tackle, including number 56, Luke Menet. Luke Meunier.
Great job there by Team BC. Obviously, with Alberta having a head coach of a former offensive lineman, you expect Alberta really want to run that ball. They're giving a bit more of an exotic look, not just your basic inside zone. They're bringing in a couple extra blockers, pulling some guys around the corner. But yeah, good job on first down. Got about 4 yards. We'll see what the play call here is on 2nd and medium.
Banke Babona with split backs. Handoff. First down, Alberta. That's the bowling ball. That's Josiah Quattel, I believe, that time on the handoff. Or no, I'm looking at the wrong side. Yeah, that's Derek Wago, the bowling ball right up the middle.
This man going downhill is going to be a problem. If BC cannot stop him early, he is going to run people over. He's showing it early here. 2 drives into this football game. Already a couple hit sticks laid by the young man out of Elk Point. First down, Team Alberta.
St. Paul Bengals product. Following those blocks right up the gut. That's a big Alberta offensive line as well, doing work up front. Banke Babona back to pass. The lefty gets it to Weigel. takes it upfield, breaks away from first contact. Gain of 5. A little bit of that southpaw swagger from Banke Babona rolling out, finds Weigel, showing that he can do it through the air and on the ground, Tyler.
Yeah, just a great job there by the quarterback, realizing that BC brought some pressure, knowing that there's going to be some vacated space as a result. Got the ball out of his hands quick. Get it to your big tailback in the backfield, out of the backfield, in some space. Put his head down. Going to get about 4.5 yards here. Going to be second and manageable once again with that H-back look coming out of the huddle.
That's number 21, Malachi Polishin in that H-back position. Weigel's in the backfield with Banke Babona. Once again, Weigel's going to take it. He goes off tackle, puts his shoulder down, but he's not going to get the first. BC rallying to the football.
I'm wondering if that was a setup to be a 3-down situation here. 2nd and 6, just kind of a basic power play from the offensive line and coordinator here for Team Alberta. Coach Filippelli, I believe, did not even hesitate. Offense is staying out on the field here. A little bit of that fringe territory with these 15-year-olds, 42-yard field goal, probably a little bit out of the range of their specialists. So here we go, first gamble of the afternoon.
That was Luke Meunier on the tackle once again, as here's Banke Babona. It's Weigel in the backfield.
Sam.
He's looking to pass, now rolling to his left. Banke Babona's going to go down, loose ball, and that should be BC football. That one recovered by Owen Coelho, and a huge stuff and force fumble by Rohan Badasha. BC creates momentum from their D.
Fantastic play call. BC's bringing at least one most of the time here this afternoon, bringing the Sam off of the front side pressure there. Rollout from Team Alberta. That linebacker did not give up on the play. Does a absolutely fantastic job of attacking that throwing arm, causing the turnover. First down, Team BC. Going to be a slip screen out to the short side of the field. Good blockers out in front. Going to get about 4 yards here from BC. Let's see if they can take this momentum, get something going. At the minimum here, Mike, you want to flip the field.
Absolutely. In terms of the momentum of this game, this drive could be a determining factor. That defense doing what they needed to do for BC. And Banke Babona did not see Badasha whatsoever on that play from his blind side. Excellent play there from the BC linebacker. High snap, and just having to fall on it there is Marasigan. That's tough, as BC was looking to create something on that drive, but it's going to be another 2-and-out. And they're going to have to punt.
Mike, I love you, but I'm going to die on this hill. That center, I played the position. I've been there. That one's on the quarterback, my friend. That was right at his shoulder, as you'll see here on the replay. I lied. It's a bit heavy. Okay. I'm just going to try to give the big boys up front some love. That is what I will do here this afternoon and all throughout this tournament. Ball was a little bit high. Caught his quarterback off guard. Just going to skip over and behind. Good job by BC to just fall on that one. Unfortunately, we'll see if this punt can flip the field or not. Again,
Alberta with 2 returners back at the 50. Blocked! Alberta gets their hands on it, and they will take over at the 32-yard line. Multiple players got their mitts on that. Noah Graff as well as Liwat Yehia both put their mitts in.
Yeah, that's just going to be an unfortunate set of circumstances here from Team BC. Once again, bit of an issue with the snap. This one's going to be low. Punter does a good job of getting that one off the ground. Unfortunately, going to put that one right off the helmet of his up back. Going to result in a turnover on downs here. Team Alberta is going to be scrimmaging. 32-yard line going in. There is some royalty in the booth.
Yeah, Brian Dobie just
Brian Dobie is in the building, gentlemen.
See if we can get an interview in with Brian later on there. Declan Reed was also in on that play. It did hit the up back, but there were 3 Alberta players that were in the vicinity. I think the punter might have scrambled a bit because of that pressure, tried to get it off a bit too quickly, and therefore Alberta taking over deep in BC territory, as once again we see Ryland Park doing his thing, getting upfield. And what I like about his game, Tyler, is quick cuts, gets right where he needs to be, no hesitation.
Yeah, absolutely. That play, the jet sweep kind of design play coming from that slot back receiver is designed to get outside of that offensive tackle, but if that offensive tackle can't make that block, he comes up underneath it. Great job, as you mentioned there, by Park to make that recognition. So we're going to get a second down handoff here. Going to be outside to the short side of the field. Great job by Team BC to rally up. Going to be 3rd and short. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Coach Filippelli is going to go for this one.
I think so. And you talked about Filippelli off the broadcast here, Tyler. Just maybe educate the viewers a little bit about the experience of Coach Jordan Filippelli, who has numerous years of U Sports experience.
Yeah, started for the Calgary Dinos, played against him way back when in the early 2010s. Great football player, great offensive lineman. I believe he was an All-Canadian once, if not twice there, drafted into the CFL. Just obviously now is giving back to the minor football community in Alberta. Fantastic football mind. Love to see an offensive lineman leading a group here. Yeah, great young coach, and obviously doing a really good job here early for Team Alberta.
Park in motion. Banquet-Babona's going deep here. Okay. Multiple BC players in the area. Picked off. Upfield, past the 15, past the 20. Passed up to the 35. Still on his feet. He's got space to the outside. That is Daniel Lowe. All the way up to the 35, and BC's defense does it again.
What an absolutely perfectly timed blitz once again by that Sam Dime linebacker from Team BC. I thought he was going to absolutely murder the quarterback. Is able to get a fingertip on the football. Flight path taken offline. Going to be a great job there by the free safety, as you mentioned there, Mike. Weaving and bobbing and dipping and dodging, getting upfield. Another turnover here for Team BC. You got to see something out of this offense here to open up the second quarter, as they've done a really good job on defense considering what they've been given in terms of field position in this opening quarter. Great job by that BC defense. Let's see what they have in store here to open up the second quarter, Mike.
You mentioned it, Tyler, but an excellent job by that Team BC coaching staff on defense. Sort of noticing early on that Banquet-Babona he's been rolling out, and so they're bringing more pressure, forcing some of these throws. And in a tournament like this, when you don't have film on the other team as well, making those kinds of adjustments very beneficial. And we've seen 2 straight drives, as you mentioned, where BC has brought pressure and it has resulted in turnovers.
Yeah, BC is known to kind of do some exotic things on the defensive side of the ball in this tournament, in the 17s tournament, in the national 18s tournament as well. They're going to bring a lot of stuff from different angles. And once again, second and long situation, they're going to bring the Sam coming off the edge, going to be the quarterback's blind side, as you mentioned there, the left-handed quarterback for Team Alberta. Great job in just rallying, getting a piece of that football. Ball floats, great job by the free. We'll see what BC has in store here.
Important drive for Team BC. This is Ken Murasigan. Counter, nowhere to go. Right in to make the stop. Camilo Evangelista for the loss, as Trey Jackman had nowhere to go.
Yeah, when you run that double pulling situation, you got to make sure your down blocks are there by that offensive line. If you do not get in cross face of that D lineman and get into his frame, he is going to make things happen in the backfield. Going to be second and about 13 here for Team BC.
That's an imposing force. Evangelista, 6'2", 230 on the Calgary Mavericks. Second down timing route, incomplete. Lockdown coverage from Alberta. That was Kalen Reed, and it's going to be another 2-and-out for Team BC.
Yeah, so BC's offense kind of not really in rhythm, but as you mentioned there, Mike, all they've done for the past months, 6 weeks, whatever their training camp has been back home in BC, is go against each other. They haven't had any other competition. They're not hitting anybody outside of their home province and their teammates, right? Timing is a little bit off. Normally it does take the offense a little bit longer in tournaments like these to kind of get things going. As you mentioned earlier as well there, Mike, with what the defense is doing, you don't have film. It's a lot of in-game adjustments, on-the-fly adjustments. We'll see what the BC coaching staff has in store to kind of make those adjustments as this game progresses. We'll see if the defense can come up with another big stand.
Jacob Martell and Ryland Park both back. Once again for Alberta, fielded in the air, past midfield, into BC territory, and a late flag. That's going to add on 15 more as the Team Alberta offense takes the field once again with tremendous field position. Martell catches it in the air, gets upfield, and the late flag.
Yeah, it's going to be either a horse collar or a face mask, one of the two in the unnecessary roughness categories. They're going to be scrimmaging inside the 30-yard line here. So Team BC's defense and special teams, offense and special teams are not doing their defense any favors. They're setting Alberta up once again. Fringe of the red zone here. We'll see what the play call is from Coach Filippelli. Maybe do something exotic, switch it up, give a little bit of a trick play look, try to catch people off guard as they went back-to-back turnovers on their last 2 possessions.
Banke Babona is going to be the quarterback on this drive once again. Of course, both teams with 2 QBs listed. You would think that one plays the first half, one plays the second half.
Yeah, typically everybody's going to get reps in this tournament, right? It's an all-star team all the way around, but top to bottom, your roster is going to be pretty stacked.
Banke Babona, single back. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, all kinds of time. He's got a man, he's got a touchdown. 1 play and a score for Alberta. Nick Potts with the major.
What an absolutely fantastic read and ball placement from number 10 on Alberta, Ben Campaboa. My goodness, we'll get a tail into the replay here. Going to be a zone read. Going to find that backside post route coming wide open in between the zone. Put that ball exactly where it needed to be. Going to be a little bit of contact at the goal line. Nonetheless, Potts maintains possession. Going to be a quick 6 here for Team Alberta as they line up for the point after attempt. Not a trick play, Mike, but hey, that's 6.
Potts took a massive hit at the end, held on to the football, but I think that was set up by how well Alberta has established the run in this game. By doing that, the play action, in effect, forcing those BC defenders to hold, respect the run, and then you've got that dangerous Banke Babona on the run as well. You got to keep him in mind. Finds his man downfield.
That true RPO style of offense that the vast majority of Canadian minor football high school athletes are running now. You have the inside zone option. You have the pull option and check down to your feet for the quarterback. And then you're going to have those routes tallied on top of that. Great job by Banke Babona keeping his eyes downfield, finding probably his 3rd receiver coming back across the formation, rolling to his natural left side with being the left-handed quarterback, and just putting that ball exactly where it needed to be in between the 2 defenders for Team BC. Going to be 14-0 here for Team Alberta. Not saying BC needs to score on this drive here, Mike, but at the minimum, got to flip the field.
Absolutely. This offense needs to get something going. While we have a quick sec, I want to thank some of our sponsors here: Winnipeg Tourism, the Winnipeg Football Club, Executive Sports Apparel, Quantum Graphics, Ventry Tours, Red River Valley Charter Services, Old Dutch, Winnipeg Rifles Junior Football Club, Harvard Front Wealth Management, and Boston Pizza Pemina. We'll talk more about some of the contributions from those organizations later on as BC fields this kickoff. Once again, Alberta downfield well on specials, and Team BC will start at about their own 27-yard line.
That was gonna. I kind of clinched a little bit there as that ball landed. Thought that one was gonna go out of bounds, but hey, heads up by the Team BC returner there just to be safe. Gather that ball up, get some positive yards. Gonna still have decent field position here, scrimmaging from their 28. In the mid-afternoon heat. It is an absolute scorcher here this afternoon here in Winnipeg. These all-black uniforms for BC are indeed a choice because we're tipping 40 degrees with the Humidex on this field.
We certainly are. This field, too, this turf field, really attracts the sunlight. First down for BC. He's got a man incomplete. Open on the play was Jeremiah Asuncion, but it went in and out of his hands. Good ball from Ken Marasigan, but incomplete.
Oh my goodness, there was 2 choices there, wide open running up the seam. BC decides to opt for the second underneath route. Gonna be a good ball, just an unfortunate drop, but he had a receiver free and clear. Oh, there it is again. Oh!
Marasigan was looking for Nolan James on that one, but just a bit high in single coverage. Little bit too strong. These BC receivers are doing what they need to do, creating a little bit of separation, just unable to connect.
I like the decisions here from BC on this drive. Yeah, 2 incomplete passes, but 2 shots downfield, 2 very catchable footballs delivered on time and on point from their quarterback. Unfortunate situation to have drops on both of them, obviously. Going to be a 3rd down here. We'll see kind of what happens on this next possession. Alberta's returners are just standing just north of midfield here.
You're certainly seeing the arm strength on Marasigan. The St. Thomas More product. on a Burnaby, BC, 5'9", 157. High punt, but it's going to be a bit short fielded just past midfield by Jacob Martell. He gets a good block and gets it down to the BC 35-yard line, following the lead block of Dante Rogers.
Just a really good patient return there from Team Alberta. Obviously, as you mentioned there, Mike, a bit of a shorter kick as Alberta's kind of tuned into that depth of those punts. They've seen a good handful here through about 1/3 of this football game. But yeah, great job just being patient, letting his blockers get out in front of him. Gonna find positive yards. And once again, like, they're averaging starting field position. We don't have stats at the moment, but it's got to be right around Team BC's 40 at this point.
They've certainly started within BC range every single possession so far, which has definitely benefited this Alberta offense. As we've got a quarterback change, it's now Bastian Pascal, and he's gonna go deep on first down.
Yeah.
Incomplete, but pass interference is going to be called. Downfield, the intended target was Jacob Martell, and a great job by Pascal to put the ball in a place where his receiver could get it. Give him a chance in single coverage, Tyler.
100%, Mike. You took the words right out of my mouth there. That's just a good deep ball, good ball placement. If his receiver wasn't going to be the one to go get it, they were going to get that flag or just the incomplete pass. But great job rolling out. Now we have a right-handed quarterback. That's obviously a bit of an interesting situation for the Team Alberta receivers to have to get used to catching a football thrown from a lefty and a righty, as the ball will rotate in opposite directions there. But the Team BC defender not necessarily needing to take that flag, got a little handsy, got into the body of the Alberta receiver. Obviously 15 is better than a touchdown. But once again here, we are 20-yard line scrimmaging, 1st and 10 for Team Alberta.
First play on the field for Pascal, and he goes deep.
Yeah, why not, eh? Come off the bench, throw the ball into the end zone.
5'9", 135 on at the Calgary Stampeders, offering a tease of what he's going to offer at the pivot position. Split backs here for Alberta on first down. Handoff straight up the middle. Nice cut from Derek Weigel, who's had himself a first half, Tyler.
I am really, really into this offensive formation. The split backs in the gun. Then you got the H-back to the wide side of the field. And we're just going to bully ball, run this ball right down your throat. Get the ball to the big man in the backfield. Let him go north and south. You're going to get 7.5, maybe 8 yards. Going to be second and extremely manageable here. I'm going to go on the limb and say it's going to be 3-down territory if Alberta does not convert on this play.
Pascal with the split back now. There's a bit of confusion.
No, he's good.
As I think Quattel was unsure whether he was supposed to be on or off. Staying on the field, motioning now is Trey Jackman to the strong side. Pascal's going to throw it here. Complete. Stopped right away. Excellent tackle made by Owen Coelho.
Should be enough. Yeah, it will be a first down there from Team Alberta. Got to just get on the other side of that 10-yard line. So it will be goal to go here from the 9. Just a bit of a zone read look from Team Alberta with the 3 routes out to the short side of the field. Great execution all the way around by the Team Alberta offense. Great first drive here from the backup, quote-unquote backup quarterback for Alberta.
Absolutely. Bastian Pascal showing confidence, showing his arm strength, and now Team BC head coach Jay Daniels is going to call a timeout.
You know what? I don't hate this decision here from Coach Daniels. Obviously, try to settle everything down. Talk to the boys, get them a little bit of water, get them a hydration, let them take a deep breath, bring it all back down. Just try to settle everything down here. Try to get the stop. Because, you know, we got 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. A lot of football left. If they can limit this to a field goal, get this to 17-0, get some points up before the end of this quarter, end of this half, they're absolutely in this football game, Mike.
They definitely are. This is nowhere near over. That's why you play 4 quarters. I do want to make note, Corey Philpott as well as on the Team BC staff.
I know that
there.
last name.
Certainly his sons both balling in the CFL Vanier Cup champions with Calgary as well. He's been a long-time supporter of these provincial team programs. Of course, he's been a head coach as well at the U18 level. And I saw him just on the sideline there having a conversation with Ken Marasegan, quarterback for BC. So we'll see what happens when they get back on the field, adjustments being made. BC coming out of the timeout.
I mean, if you look back at that last possession there, Mike, if they convert on that go ball up this short side seam right in front of our booth, could have been 6-14 BC. Even on the 2nd and 10, they had a receiver there. If they catch one of those 2 balls, they don't make one of those mistakes in terms of taking those URs on that first possession, this is a completely different football game. So if Coach Daniels here can settle the boys down, settle BC down, get them dialed in, settle everything down here, get some points on the board, get a stop, they're in this game. Going to be a pressure look here from Team BC.
Once again, Team BC, as I mentioned, Tyler, showing pressure as rolling to his left is Pascal. Corner. Up in the air. Did he catch that football? He did. What a grab for Alberta. That's a touchdown in an impressive manner.
My goodness, I don't even know if he was the intended receiver there, Mike. He came out of absolutely nowhere.
Need the replay on this one because that was pretty. And of course, it's Jacob Martell doing it all for Team Alberta. Returning punts, making plays on offense as Pascal rolled way to his left.
Okay.
2 guys in the area.
I thought that was going to Park.
And Park and Pascal, who have been dangerous in multiple facets in this game, both had a play on it. Diving right by the sideline was Jacob Martell. How you doing?
What an effort.
Nice to meet you in the end zone.
What an effort. What a drive from the Team Alberta offense. New quarterback does not matter. Gonna be six in a pretty way. That was the right-handed quarterback rolling to his left. Great job of getting his hips and shoulders flipped around. Put that ball in an absolute prime position for the young man.
Just call him Jacob Money Martell.
No kidding. What an absolute play for the young man out of Calgary. The 5'7" product, the speedster, he covered a lot of real estate to go get that ball that was put right on that back pylon. As we are going to get another flag, it's going to be talked about, going to be enforced on the kickoff, going to be another 6 and the extra for Team Alberta. As we get another look at that replay. Oh my goodness, Team Alberta highlight reel here early, midway through the second quarter.
Spectacular grab. And again, set up by ideal field position, and Tyler, you mentioned it. This is a very competitive football game. Tough penalties on that first drive from BC. Discipline, a bit of an issue, but they've certainly kept themselves in this ball game on defense. And you mentioned as well, 2 turnovers on defense, and then on the most recent offensive possession, again, receivers open on the play but just couldn't connect.
100%. Like, this defense is being placed on the field with short fields every single time. Alberta has yet to start a possession on their side of the 55. You got to put that into perspective here. That is an unbelievable amount of pressure put on Team BC's defense. We'll see what can happen here if they can get on the same page between the quarterback and receivers on this next possession. Get some points. Let's see what happens here, Mike.
This is David Krashenescu with the kick. Fielded at the 10-yard line, breaking it up past the 20, near the 25 for BC. It is not the easiest thing in the world to read these orange numbers on a black jersey, if I'm honest. So I couldn't tell you necessarily.
We are doing our best up here, guys. We'll tell you that for free. We are doing our best in this broadcast booth. We will, Mike is obviously doing a stand-up job here with the names and the roster. I'm just here to talk about what I see between the plays, so all the credit goes out to Mr. Mike still.
Team BC starting this drive just past their 20-yard line up at the 23. First down, incomplete. Timing route again, looking for TJ Hudon. But that one incomplete from Ken Marasigan.
Yeah, just a little bit off time there. In breaking route from the short side number 3 receiver as they went trips to the short side of the field. Decent ball placement. Obviously timing was not there. Going to be 2nd and 10 here for Team BC. Once again, going to be ace week.
Marasigan with the handoff. Solid yards, still trucking forward. That's going to be up near a first down. Trey Jackman.
Change of place play call here on 2nd and 10. You know what? We're just going to go inside zone. We're going to go power. I wonder if they're going to go for it, as no, it looks like the specialists are indeed going to come out. Another half yard there, Mike. I think it's a different conversation for the offensive staff of Team BC, but it's going to be about 3rd and a yard and a half, close to 2. Potential fake territory here, although they are on their own 30, so likely going to be kicking this one away.
for Team BC. Have to be happy with at least getting some positive yards there and looking to build on that in the run game. We've seen Marasegan throw early and often on first down in this game. Blending up the run, keeping this Alberta defense off balance will be important as this game continues.
Yeah, just gotta get one of those completions, get one of those timing routes caught, move those chains, get some momentum on the offensive side of the ball, as it's going to be the third down punting situation here, as they will indeed punt.
The ever dangerous Jacob Money Martell fields it at midfield, tries to break away from first contact, can't do it. Excellent downfield coverage by Marcus Bowness, with the tackle on a Mount Douglas.
Yeah, great job there by the Mount Doug product, rallying up to that punt and limiting that return to only a couple. But the trend continues here, Mike. Alberta once again scrimmaging on the BC side of the field to open up their fourth possession of this football game.
Touchdown for Alberta on their last drive. Bastian Pascal comes in, throws a dart, an incredible catch by Jacob Martell, as Team Alberta having all kinds of success offensively. Fakes the jet sweep, and now going to Park through the air, but that one falls incomplete, trying to get it to the versatile threat, speed threat, Park, but incomplete.
Yeah, just that zone read option once again, trying to get the speedster in the flats, get the ball into his hands, essentially turn it into a punt return kind of situation here. Ball going to be up and away, as there was good coverage by Team BC there, as you'll see it on the replay.
Important drive for this BC defense as they look to get another opportunity. 6:06 to go in the second quarter. Bastian Pascal with a single back. He's going to throw screen pass. Not much on. I spoke too soon. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss by Andre Sato, but he kept those legs churning. The bowling ball, Derek Weigel, positive yardage. Still going to be third down.
Yeah, Derek Weigel had absolutely no right to get positive yards there on that play. Good job by the linebacker for BC to shed the block of the interior offensive lineman out on the screen. But yeah, like you mentioned there, Mike, Derek Weigel just refusing to going down, getting into a 3rd and 2 situation. A couple big bodies have checked in. See what the play call is here, if they just try to keep this one on the ground or they take a shot, try to put that nail in a coffin.
So there's an enormous Alberta offensive line as Pascal goes under center on third down. Handoff, first down, Weigel still on his feet. Once again, breaking away from first contact, the bowling ball on a St. Paul Bengals Elk Point native. Gets another first down for Alberta.
That's a great short yardage look as you get the speedster in Ryland Park on the jet sweep motion, as you see there, coming from right to left on your screens at home, and you get the big boy in Weigel coming downhill with authority. Good job by the big boys up front, as Weigel was not touched until he was already free and clear of that first down marker.
Pascal with Weigel in the backfield. 2 receivers each side of the formation. Fakes the handoff to Weigel. Pascal breaks away from one defender and gets it downfield for the completion. He had a man right in his face. Little shimmy shake move. Gets it to Travis Heel.
It does not matter who's playing quarterback for Team Alberta. Both of these young men this afternoon are absolutely balling here. What a job on the head and shoulders here from the quarterback. As you see a little shimmy there, shakes free of the defensive lineman for Team BC. Finds his boy free and clear in behind the coverage. Going to set up first and goal from the 9-yard line. Been here before, Mike. We'll see what the play call is.
Playbook is wide open for Alberta as Pascal has Weigel in the backfield. He's going to give it to him. Weigel keeping those legs churning. Team BC halting the momentum for, that's going to be, looks like it's actually going to be pretty close to the first down marker.
No, that was first and goal.
Oh, excuse me. Yep, first and goal.
So that was about 4. I think they're on the 9. So yeah, it's going to be second and goal from the 5 here.
Solid yards
Yeah, great job there. Just an inside power look. Get the big boy downhill. See if he can make somebody miss. Gets about half the distance. Once again, I'm going to assume this is 3-down territory here from Coach Filippelli and Team Alberta.
Pascal with Weigel again in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side of the formation, and you've got the H-back, number 27, Bishop, that's Sean Duncan, as Pascal gets away from one defender, can't get away from the second. He's taken down by Owen Coelho, who's had a very strong first half defensively for BC.
Bit of a high snap. I'll just say that one right off the jump here. I'm not going to try to make any excuses for the offensive line. Good job there by the quarterback to kind of just rally, get that one under control, gets to check down to his feet, does what he can, gets a few yards. But here, 3rd down, we'll see if Team BC can get a stop.
3-minute warning on the field.
Okay,
Alberta,
Mike, what's the play call here? You're gonna go zone read to the field, get your boy in space. You're gonna go inside zone with Weigel. Oh, Coach Filippelli he's gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
he's gonna take time out.
I think he's got the same thinking as you there, Tyler, where the playbook, you've got multiple options. I personally would like to see Weigel take this one up the gut.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen that zone read work so effectively in this first half for Alberta, and with the athleticism of Pascal using his legs multiple times to create time for receivers to get downfield, that is also an option for this Alberta offense. Equally important play for this BC defense as they try to keep themselves in this game late in the first half. Again, they've made plays defensively. They forced 2 turnovers. Can they step up once again?
Yeah, you force a 3rd turnover here inside of 3 minutes, get a big play on offense, kind of completely switches this football game around, because going into the half down 4 converted touchdowns at 28-0 versus going down at 21-7 is obviously going to be a very different situation. Yeah, I'm going to see some sort of zone read option, get your quarterback out on the edge here, have some routes to throw to, have the option to check down to his feet. Hey, if that defensive end stays outside, give the ball to the big boy, let him churn and try to cross that plane from 5 yards out.
Pascal has Weigel in the backfield to his left. Now he's going to motion. It's an empty backfield. It's going to be a pass. Pascal rolling to his left. He's going to go deep.
No chance. Oh, he did.
And oh my gosh, what a catch.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? In the end zone, Ryland Park.
My goodness. Once again, that back pylon throw for this Team Alberta offense, having no right to complete that football. But Ryland Park with the toe tip. Oh, they're going to say no. Excuse me. They've waved this off.
Touchdown at first, but they're going to.
We'll see here on the replay. Great job flipping his hips. Oh, I mean, we don't have the exact angle of the end zone, but, I mean, the official was right there.
Yeah, he called.
No, that's going to be a touchdown. Yeah, there was a penalty on the play.
Excuse me. Touchdown right away.
Yeah, that was a declined penalty on the play as Alberta's going to come and line up here for the point after attempt. Okay, so back to the point about Ryland Park. Wow, young man, you are having yourself a first half for this Team Alberta. Another fantastic ball from the quarterback right to that back pylon, as we had mentioned there before we got a little confused up here in the booth. But yeah, 28-0. Alberta's offense is absolutely firing on all cylinders here. Does not matter who's playing quarterback. Both of these young men are having a great first half. They got the big man in the backfield, and they got weapons at receiver.
Ryland Park and Jacob Martell are balling at Mustangs Field here today. Park has great size too, 6 foot, 170. Martell's got that speed, and of course we saw him stretch out for that incredible grab. But how about the cues as well? Bastian Pascal, Tyler, 2 touchdowns in this one for him.
Yeah, both quarterbacks have 2 touchdowns, right? One. Yeah, Pascal with the two absolute dots touchdowns to the end zone, and then the
Bankay Babona with the rushing touchdown as well.
Like, it's just what a first half for this Alberta offense. My goodness, these guys are here to play in a very warm.
Yeah, it's a scorcher out here in Winnipeg, as it is certainly summer. Quite the kickoff, fielded at the 10-yard line, space to the outside. Taken down right away. Returning that one was Ty McGregor. but Preston Lutchman said, no thanks. Big stuff.
Picture perfect open field tackle. He had all kinds of real estate there as the returner from Team BC. And as you mentioned there, Mike, no, sir. No, thank you. I'm going to rally up and make that tackle. You're going to scrimmage from your own 19-yard line. We get some stats here at the half. We'll fill you in on numbers, but the average starting field position for these two teams is so vastly different here. We'll see if BC can get something going, try to get on the board here before the break.
Important drive for Team BC. They got the gunslinger, Ken Marasigan, in at quarterback. Single back. Handoff. Multiple Alberta players stuffed that one. It was Colin McElwain, as well as number 88, who we've called a few times, Toby Okoro. Yeah. 5'11", 225 goes Okoro into the Calgary Bulldogs.
That's a big body right there for sure. Just a bit of a safe play call here from TBC. Maybe they're just trying to get into the half, make some adjustments as they can go inside and settle things down. Going to be a timing road there. A lot of contact. Not going to see any laundry. Good clean coverage there by the linebacker from Team Alberta in number 42. As he breaks that pass up. Going to be another punting situation. And Mike, there is enough time on this clock for Team Alberta to once again put up points before the break.
Thanks to the big PBU from
42,
there we go, Colin McElwain.
Yeah.
Alberta will get another opportunity offensively. The BC coaching staff wanted a PI call there, but they weren't going to get it. The two of them were battling a little bit of hand jockeying back and forth there.
That's a good non-call. As you mentioned there, Mike, both guys kind of going back and forth, a little bit of contact. You're going to get contact on most, if not all, plays, assuming the receiver's not running free and clear. But yeah, that's a good non-call there over the middle. Got to let the boys play.
And once again, back to return the dangerous Jacob Martell and Ryland Park, who have both been sensational for Alberta. Park leaves it for Martell. He's going to take it near the 50. What a block by Park! Goodness gracious! Man, you could hear that one from the perimeter, Tyler.
Oh my goodness. Ryland Park tipping the scales at 170 pounds, laying the absolute boom on Andrew Mackey, who is 215 pounds, and the speedster in Park just decleats the big defensive lineman there for Team BC. And once again, Alberta will be scrimmaging inside of BC territory here.
It was kind of off the side of the broadcast. Hard to see the look at that block, but that was a good job by that BC defense as well, swarming to the football, preventing that from being a larger gain. As once again on the field is Bastian Pascal.
BC's one down here.
They lucked out as their front line, that big defensive front for BC, limited that gain. Two players in to make the tackle, Mauricio Reyes, as well as Luke Meunier.
I don't mind the play call there from Team Alberta. You know, you got the big boy in the backfield. He's done a great job here getting pops all afternoon early in this first half as we close in on the halftime break. Getting a couple yards. See what the play call here is on 2nd and long from the young pivot in Pascal.
Luke Meunier for BC at the half, we'll read the stats, but he's been all over the ball, that defensive end from Team BC. As
shot.
Bastian Pascal goes deep. Incomplete, exceptional coverage. Multiple BC defenders in on that one. Carter Wickens as well as Baraka Gibson. That's a football name if I've ever heard one.
Absolutely, Mike. Just going to be a bit of a shot play here from Team Alberta. They're going to have the action to the screen to the short side of the field from the receiver. Ryland Park going to take that one up and straight clear down the boundary side of the field. Pascal says, you know what? He does big things. I'm going to put the ball up. Great there. Oh, really, really good coverage there, Mike, by the BC defender, number 21, I believe. But good job there limiting, because if Park got his hands on that football, he's probably walking into the end zone for another touchdown here early in this afternoon. They're trying a 55-yard field goal.
We got a 55-yard attempt.
Ryland Park is lined up onside. BC is well aware of this. We'll see if this is going to be some sort of pooch punt, but I mean,
David
55 yards.
Krashenescu.
Yeah.
No, it's a fake. Yeah, you called it, Tyler.
Yeah.
Pascal, he's going to try and find a man.
okay.
Can't do it. And that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Why not, right? Why not if you're Coach Filippelli? You're up 4 touchdowns here. Yeah, we got the leg from 55. Yeah, we got it, he says. Obviously going to be a bit of, I think they were just going to throw a bit of a designed screen pass there, see if they can catch Team BC napping. Good job there by the Team BC defenders, shutting that one down. And hey, once again, BC best field position of this first half. Going to have 86 seconds on the clock. We'll see if they can get the ball into the end zone, or at the very least into field goal range, as Alberta's going to be playing cover 2.
Marasigan back to pass. He's going to go deep. Couldn't find a man. Lockdown coverage from Alberta. D'Angelo Austin, stride for stride with the intended target on the play. Jeremy Asuncion.
Yeah, that was a bit of a blind throw, just taking a shot there, hoping that his receiver could get free and clear. Going to be great coverage there on the back end as Alberta actually dropped into a cover 3 look, with the field side half and the weak half dropping off into the deep third.
Yeah,
Let's see what the play call here is.
Not much Jeremiah could do on that one as a receiver, as you mentioned, based on the coverage being provided. As Marasigan tried to fit that one in to Ty McGregor, incomplete. A lot of zip on these balls from Marasigan. He certainly has strength on that arm. He's got a cannon.
Yeah.
Maybe want to take a bit off though.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of fastballs, and you want to show off to the scouts here in Winnipeg that you can throw the ball with some speed and some tempo. But yeah, like you said there, Mike, putting the ball on the body of your receiver is going to be a little bit more important than just getting in there. It's going to be a third down gamble here from Team BC.
Marasigan, he's got 3 receivers that were all in the area. Any one of those players had a shot at it. It was Owen McDougall who ended up being the one with the best chance. Multiple players open, but just a bit too high, as there was a bit of a coverage bust from Alberta.
And just looked like Alberta was just in a 3-cut, having the half drop to the deep third and the corner staying, but then they had 3 receivers running go routes. Unfortunately, none of the aforementioned 3 receivers could make a play on that football. So Alberta, once again, going to have 73 seconds here on the clock, scrimmaging inside of BC territory. I'm becoming a broken record in that, but they have not started on their side of the field this entire half. We'll see if they go on the ground here to start this possession off, or if they want to take a shot to the short side of the field with those 2 weapons in Park and Martell.
Pascal's going to go deep. He's got a cannon. He's looking for Park. Incomplete. Once again, the BC secondary says no thank you. Double coverage there towards the end of the play.
I'm wondering if Park lost that one in the sun as he turned around to try to make a play on that football, as that go ball route was well placed. Park slowed down a little bit, so I don't know if he thought the ball was going to be dropping in a different angle. As you get here, the field replay here from the booth. Great job there by the BC defenders to shut that one down. We'll see what the play call here is on second down from Team Alberta, if they can maintain this drive before the halftime break.
Riker Insel and Daniel Lowe in the coverage. Lowe has had a great first half at the safety position. Screen pass here, but just a bit too high. And BC shuts it down, a 2-and-out. Jacked up on that one was Mauricio Reyes.
So not the first time we've seen that middle screen call from Team Alberta, this time with that jet motion. Great job by the offensive line to release and get out in front. Tough ball to complete, fading away there by. Are we once again going to see a 55-yard field goal, quote-unquote, attempt here, Mike? Or are we going to see another fake situation?
Almost certainly a fake.
We'll see if this time they decide to try to take it as the lefty is lining up. That puck is on the stripe of the 55. We'll see what the play call here is, as BC is definitely in a safe return. Oh, they are trying this. No.
That kick is going to be short and long to the right. Short.
I mean, that worked out pretty good. That turned into a punt. They had an onside player there. Turned into a punt. Going to be inside the 10-yard line. So great statistic if that was just coming off of the foot of the punter. Unfortunately, it's going to go down as a missed field goal attempt. But BC is going to be scrimmaging here from their 5-yard line with 56 seconds, so we'll see what the decision here is. I'm going to go out on a limb and think that BC is just going to try to get in the room or maybe take one shot here.
I would agree with you, Tyler. BC coaching staff had to respect the fake. They were screaming that Malachi Polishin was onside on that play. Like you said, it ended up being a advantageous play.
Yeah.
Actually, the best quote-unquote punt of the day.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? You're going to pin them down. You have the onside player there. Worst case scenario, they're scrimmaging from the dead ball spot, right? Good decision there by Filippelli. Good ball here. Really good ball.
In and out of the hands of the intended target, Jeremiah Asuncion. He had a shot at it.
Oh, that was great ball placement once again from the BC pivot in the in-breaking route there. Great job. We'll get a good look of it on the replay, putting that ball exactly where it needed to be. Yeah, maybe a shade in behind, but absolutely catchable here. We'll see what Asuncion, has on 2nd and 10. Oh.
Going for the long out route. That's a hard throw to make for any quarterback. The strong side out. Incomplete.
Yeah, he completed that. That might have been a hospital pass, too, as the field side corner from Team Alberta was coming down with an absolute head of steam. We'll get a good look here on the replay. Ball's going to short hop in, but you can see the Alberta defender coming in ready to lay an absolute boom down on the BC receiver if he was able to make that possession. We'll see if if BC decides to give up the safety 2 here and get to a 30-point lead for Alberta, or if he runs around and tries to get this kick away and kills some time off the clock, because we have 48 seconds remaining here in this first half. An absolutely picture-perfect day here in southern Winnipeg. Not a cloud in the sky. Yeah, she's warm. The boys are doing okay here out on the field. It's warm, but it's a great day for football here in the Under-16 Western Challenge.
Hey, it's football season, and what more can you ask for as BC concedes the single.
So it will be 30-0. We'll see what Team Alberta does here, as they're actually going to have to start a possession inside their own territory here, Mike. For the first time all afternoon, they will be scrimmaging from their own 35-yard line, so about 20 yards negative and south of where they've been scrimmaging from the entire first half of this football game. We'll see what the play call is here. There is 46 seconds remaining in this first half, which is all day in Canadian football. As the CFL is famous for saying, no lead is safe, because there is so much time to be had here. We'll see what the situation here is for Team Alberta, as Martell jogs into the huddle here a little bit late for the Alberta offense.
And while we have a chance here, Tyler, I just want to recognize how many programs are playing in these games.
Yeah.
For Alberta, there's 21 different programs within the province represented, and 24 different programs represented for BC.
That's
so
fantastic.
Over almost 50 total programs showcasing the talent in Canada. As
wide open.
Pascal
he dropped it.
looks for a man. He tried to find Kenzie Robertson.
He had two layered in routes coming on the levels concept there from Team Alberta with a bust in the middle of the field. I believe BC brought a little bit of pressure, but there was 2 routes there that were just absolutely wide open. Pascal kind of bobbled the snap there off the exchange in the shotgun. As you see the replay from the field level here, going to be a bit of a back foot throw, but my goodness, that is a drop from the young man in Kenzie Robertson.
Bastion Pascal, he's got Weigel again in the backfield. 2 receivers to both sides of the formation with the H-back as Pascal. Back to pass. Dangerous throw there, as there were 2 BC defenders also in the area. Closest one to the play for BC was Carter Wickens, and that's going to be a 3rd down. 35 seconds to go in the first half. I'll be honest with you, these last 3 minutes are moving at a pretty slow pace.
The first quarter moved at a frantic pace. The first half of the second quarter moved at a frantic pace. And yeah, Mike, it feels like we're crawling here a little bit, as Team Alberta is going to log on up to punt, and only 12 seconds off the clock, 13 seconds off the clock there. I mean, if you're Team BC's special teams coordinator, do you try to go after this and try to get some sort of momentum going into the break? Or do you try to just line up, hope to get a bit of a return, and maybe take a shot to the end zone inside 30 seconds here? We'll have to find out on the snap of this football.
You got 2 returners back.
They're not going to come after it, though.
Daniel Lowe, who's had a great first half at the safety position for BC. He's going to field it.
There you go.
Makes 1 man miss, and that's going to give BC their best field position of the game with 26.5 seconds to play in the first half. Lowe coming in, breaking up multiple passes from Alberta on defense. Good range and also a strong return. Certainly one of the standouts in this one so far for BC. And out comes this BC offense. And we know, we've
They're
seen
close.
it all game,
close.
Tyler. We've seen that Ken Marasegan has a cannon, and he can make it happen with one throw.
Absolutely. If they can connect on just one of these balls here in the next 30 seconds, 28 seconds, we'll see kind of what happens. We're going to get a Sam Blitz here from Team Alberta. Good job picking it up from, oh, that's a face mask. You got to throw that flag. Yeah, 100%. Great job here by 7 to move the sticks. He's going to get close to a first down. There might be 2 roughness penalties here on Alberta as they're going to get a face mask on the initial attempt and then potentially a UR upon the conclusion of this one, as that's kind of what it looked like. I didn't see anything else. So if you tack on 30 yards of penalties here, Mike, BC is going to be in position to kind of make something happen inside of 20 seconds.
That was TJ Hudon with the catch, and then he made his man miss, and like you mentioned, face mask. And there's going to be a bevy of extra yardage as there's 2 flags on the field.
3.
Oh, yes, excuse me. There is laundry aplenty down here at St. Vital Mustangs Field.
Okay, so we got roughness on Alberta. That's the face mask.
Yeah, so that's 30 yards there.
And then the UR for the late hit. So, yeah, it's going to be 30 yards and penalties here for Team BC Alberta, giving up a big chunk there on an uncharacteristic, undisciplined play from this Team Alberta defense. BC's going to be inside the 20, going to be scrimmaging here, 17-yard line, going to have 18 seconds, so you got enough time to get this ball into the end zone. We'll see what the play call is here, Mike, because they get into the end zone here. It's a completely different football game coming out of the break. Confidence
will be booming for BC if they can score on this possession and cut into this Alberta lead. Ken Marasegan has trips to the strong side. 3 receivers now, both sides going deep.
Oh, he underthrew it.
Incomplete. Alberta says no. That one broken up on the play by, looked to be Dante Rogers.
I like the decision here from the quarterback to take that go ball route from number 2. Alberta has been playing an absolute ton of cover 3 on the back end in their secondary, so he's going to put that ball in a good spot. Unfortunately, he's going to be underthrown. Excuse me. We'll see what the play call is here on 2nd and 10.
Empty backfield. That one incomplete as Marasegan one-hopped his receiver. Alberta brought pressure. In the quarterback's face was Cale Senecal. And of course, BC's going to go for it on 3rd down. 11 seconds to go in the first half. Passing situation for Marasegan here.
There's a lot coming off of the Alberta bench here, as it's going to be a timeout for Team BC. There was definitely a bit of a miscommunication from the defensive coaching staff of Team Alberta trying to get a play call in here to their defense, but nonetheless, going to be a timeout. Going to have some time to discuss this one, before this 3rd down attempt here inside of 10 seconds.
You mentioned it, Tyler. Alberta has ran a lot of cover 3 in this game, and they're certainly going to do the exact same thing. They're going to have their heels to the end zone, knowing that BC needs a touchdown on this 3rd. Well, they could get a first down, but they're looking to score. Just 11 seconds left to go in the first half.
Yeah, we'll see what the play call is here. We'll see if Alberta mixes it up, maybe brings a little bit of pressure. But we'll see what the decision here is from the defensive coaching staff of Alberta. What do you do here as the offensive coaching staff from Team BC? Yeah, you don't need to score. You can get the ball inside the 7 here to get a first down. But like you said, Mike, 11 seconds, not a whole lot of real estate on that clock. So we'll see what the play call here is coming out of this timeout.
Ken Marasegan has shown his capability to get the ball downfield with velocity all game long. Just hasn't been able to connect with his receivers. But there have been opportunities. And here's another one for BC. Key play for both sides. BC looks to go to the to the break with a little bit of momentum. Mary Segan up and incomplete. One of the receivers downfield tripped.
Ran into his teammate.
That was Trey Jackman who fell down on the play. I think it was going to be short of the end zone. They were looking for the first down, but no good.
Once again, just a timing road here, Mike. We'll get a good look on the replay. Going to split into a 3-by-3 look from the backfield. Going to be, there's definitely miscommunication there by either the receiver or the running back as that ball was placed on top of both of them. And unfortunately, going to be another turnover from Team BC. Great job there by Alberta to bend and indeed not break, as we'll have probably 2 more snaps here to get into the halftime break. I imagine Alberta is just going to take a knee, but we'll see if Coach Filippelli wants to get real aggressive. 7.5 seconds left.
Yep, you would logically think they go into the break, but Alberta's been throwing dimes all game. They are going to take a knee to go into halftime.
All right,
Team
Mike.
Alberta with the lead, with momentum, and they have been throwing dimes all game long with great field position, Tyler.
Yeah, both quarterbacks here this afternoon in Bakambona and Pascal, both coming in for Team Alberta in the first and second quarters respectively, have done an absolutely picture-perfect job for this Alberta offense, putting up 4 touchdowns, 2 apiece from each of the pivots, as Alberta is going to take a 30-0 lead into the break, as we will be back after halftime here. We'll see in about 15 minutes. Oh, really? Who runs the Obsessed account? Oh, right on.
We're back here at St. Vital Mustangs Field. Mike Still, Tyler Fabry, thanks for joining us for the first game of the 2025 U16 Western Challenge. If you're just joining us, Alberta up 30-0. Their two quarterbacks have been absolutely sensational in this game, and that's been the story. Bastian Pascal as well as Davin Bankay-Babona, but it's been aided by tremendous field position right from the jump. And as I say tremendous field position, Alberta is going to start near their 50-yard line. It's the bowling ball. Derek Weigel fielding it. We've got an injured Alberta player down.
Not only is Weigel having himself a day in the backfield as the premier running back for this Team Alberta offense, he's going to take that opening kickoff of the second half right up the gut. Going to give his team great field position, and only for the second time in this football game, going to be scrimmaging inside their own territory. Granted, Mike, it's going to be the 48-yard line. There is an Alberta player down on the field as we speak here, getting tended to from the Team Alberta medical staff, as an absolute legend in Dr. Pilot is here from the Manitoba healthcare system. This man has been helping out sports in this province for the better part of 20-plus years.
While we have a chance, I want to shout out some of the sponsors. Winnipeg Football Club, they do so much for amateur football in this province. Wade Miller, of course, headlining that, president, CEO, purchasing new helmets every year for teams across the province. Proud supporters of amateur football. Their continued investment and development in grassroots football makes opportunities like this possible for the next generation of athletes.
Yeah, what Wade and the football program there and the football club of the Bombers has been doing for minor football here in this province over the last handful of years is absolutely amazing. Funding the complete travel for the Indigenous program here that will kick off here tomorrow afternoon.
Blitz from BC as Bankay-Babona hands it off up the middle to Weigel. Limited to no gain in on that one. A few players, including Ben Scott Curry.
Yeah, great job there by the Team BC defense. I imagine they're going to be a bit more exotic in their pressure packages here, as they're going to try to make some plays on the defensive side of the ball to get back into this football game. Good decision there by the Alberta pivot to just hand that one off against the pressure look, get a couple yards, live to see second and long.
Bankay-Babona with Weigel in the backfield. Trips to the strong side. Bankay-Babona is going to go to the strong side. There's going to be a penalty on the play as that one is hauled in on the sideline. Good concentration from Nick Potts, but we do have what I believe to be an illegal block or a hold on Alberta. We'll wait to hear what the call is.
Yeah, it's definitely in the territory there. My eyes were downfield. It's going to be a hold, as you mentioned there, Mike. Great call. And seeing that one, we'll see if we can get the replay queued up here on the broadcast. But nonetheless, great ball delivered by the quarterback to the outbreaking route, as we're experiencing a couple technical difficulties up here in the booth with our replay monitor. But nonetheless, going to be 2nd and 20 here. Going to redo the down for Team Alberta. We'll see what's in the playbook for 2nd and a mile.
BC likely going to go cover 3 on this 2nd and long. Bankay-Babona with Weigel again, the single back. Trips to the short side, and now motioning is Ryland Park. Bankay-Babona.
He's got him. Oh, he's got him.
He's got a man open. He's got Jacob Martell. First down, Alberta.
Fantastic play design from Team Alberta. Once again, gonna bring that jet motion look across from Park. Gonna have the speedster in Martell on the double move post corner, put his foot in the ground. The corner did not fall back off into that three deep zone, as you mentioned there, Mike. We'll get a good look here on the replay. Fantastic ball placement from Bankay-Babona, and it's going to be a first down, about a 40-yard gain here on 2nd and 20. Alberta's offense is unstoppable this afternoon.
Head coach Jordan Filippelli said to his team at the half, he said, "We have not reached our peak." Demanding excellence from his squad. And once again, this offense is churning on their first drive of the second half. Weigel right up the gut. Solid gain on first down.
Yeah, just a bit of a delayed power look as there's going to be a defender here for Team BC injured on the play. The medical staff will come out and tend to him. But Weigel running downhill. This young man is having himself an absolute afternoon. The St. Paul Bengal has been rumbling and stumbling when he gets going. It is hard to bring the big man down in the backfield. We're in that single-digit number 8 for Team Alberta, as they're going to get some water here in their respective huddles as the training staff continues to look at the injured BC player. But Mike, what a great first drive here Alberta has been putting together to open up this third quarter.
Getting helped off the field is Owen McDougall. Alberta 2nd and 5. Weigel with that big return and now getting a solid gain on the ground. He's been another of those difference makers. Derek Weigel, Jacob Martell, Ryland Park, all making big plays for Alberta offensively. And of course, Bastian Pascal and Davin Benkei-Babona getting it done with their arm and with their legs. Benkei-Babona, he's going to give it to Weigel once again. Breaks away from the first defender. That's another fresh set for Alberta, the bowling ball.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you watched any of the Manitoba Bison's broadcast last year, you know me saying that one from a Braden Stubbs touchdown. And as the Manitoba Bisons did in that football game, they fed Stubbs. Alberta's feeding Weigel. Straight downhill power play, makes 1, 2, 3 guys miss, falls forward, moves the chains. First down, Alberta.
Team Alberta churning out the yardage, and they're doing it with Weigel. He goes 5'8", 205. Not an easy man to take down. He's got a strong lower body, as he's shown all day. Open, first down, still on his feet, all the way to the 4-yard line. Second catch of the drive for Nick, the first one was called back due to a penalty, but that's Nick Potts being active early in the third quarter. Calgary Colts product, the 6-footer.
Yeah, great play call here from the Alberta coaching staff. Going to go downhill, inside zone power with Weigel, back and forth, back and forth. This is going to be that zone read pull. Great job by the young pivot in Alberta to find the open receiver there, as you mentioned there, Mike, in Potts, coming on that over route to get it setting up a first and goal. We'll see what the play call here is for Team Alberta to try to put one of the final nails into the coffin here early in this third quarter.
Benkei-Babona's got split backs. BC looks like they might be showing blitz.
Tutty.
Weigel breaks away. Touchdown! Derek Weigel into the end zone to add to the Alberta lead.
What a great job by that offensive line. Got to give the big boys up front some credit. They're doing an absolutely phenomenal job all afternoon and will likely continue until the conclusion of this football game of opening up holes, pulling, finding linebackers, identifying what Team BC is doing on defense and executing it phenomenally. When you have an all-Canadian offensive lineman as your head coach, I would expect nothing less. Coach Filippelli has done a absolutely phenomenal job here, getting that offensive line and that backfield dialed in here as we're set to go to 37-0 with the oncoming PAT.
Weigel following the lead block of 5'10", 205-pound Dimitri Clausen out of Grand Prairie with the Grand Prairie Broncos. And it's bully ball from Alberta early in the third quarter.
Absolutely it is, Mike. What a flawless way to start the third quarter here from Alberta. Big return out of the running back in Weigel. Great job of just moving the ball downfield, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, play action pass, put that final nail in the coffin with the run game, get Weigel, over that goal line into the end zone, 4-6. Going to be 37-0 here with 7.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
David Krashenescu set to kick off. Two returners back for Team BC. It's Ty McGregor and Andre Sato. That drive also took up a heck of a lot of clock.
No kidding, 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes.
This one is going to be returned by McGregor. Taken down at the 30-yard line by Maximus Piatelli.
Just once again, phenomenal job by the special teams unit from Alberta, running downfield with reckless abandon, putting a body on a body, running over blockers, limiting the Team BC return. And I believe we have a quarterback change here for Team BC, and it looks like number 1 is going to be the pivot here moving forward, as in Reed Dixon.
Reed Dixon on a Robert Bateman 5'10". Handoff on first down, nothing there. Alberta stuffs that run play.
So this is the difference, as we've seen here, Mike, as Team Alberta has gone one quarter for their quarterbacks. Team BC opting to go first half and second half. We'll see if Reed Dixon here can come in off of the bench and do something for this Team BC offense and get something moving, get some points on the board, get a little bit of momentum coming into this first drive of the second half.
Colin McElwain made the stop. Empty backfield. Dixon's going to look to throw. Breaks away from the pressure. Rolls to his right. Still looking for someone. Incomplete. Tyler seemed to see someone downfield that he could have thrown to.
It might have been an impossible throw, but number 16 for Team BC was free and clear, sitting on the Alberta 40-yard line, right down the midline of the field. Very, very tough thing to see for Reed Dixon as he was rolling out to his right side, just trying to see what he can downfield. Does a good job of keeping that play alive as long as physically possible. Unfortunately, was unable to see the receiver wide open. Does a great job of climbing that pocket here, as you'll see on the replay, and try to buy some time. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, they're going to be incomplete, going to be a third down situation and a punt look for Team BC. I don't know, Mike. Maybe look for some sort of trick play or a gamble at some point here to get some momentum going, but I don't know if that'll be right now.
Maybe not from their own 20. That one kicked away. Again, it's going to be the ever-dangerous Jacob Money Martell. He's into BC territory. Yeah. There is a flag on the play. It's going to be holding on Alberta.
Looked like Kingston Park is going to be the guilty party, as the flag came out and his hands went north to the sky in disbelief. And I think Mike is correct. It's going to be either a hold or a clip. That might be a smidge ticky-tacky. But nonetheless, it's going to be called. They're going to be backed up to, I believe the penalty was at the 50, so it's going to bring them back to the other side of the 50. So for the third consecutive possession for Team Alberta, starting on their own side of midfield. Oh, no, check that. BC's 50.
Last possession for Alberta. They went heavy on the run, giving it to the big boy, Derek Weigel. We'll see what this offense has in store on their second possession of the second half. It's Davin Bankay-Babona who will take the third quarter snaps. We'll likely see Bastian Pascal in the fourth. Split backs for Bankay-Babona. Now motioning is number 9, Ben Bourgeois. Bankay-Babona rolling to his left. Now he's just going to take it himself. He's going to gain around 4 or 5 yards, and he's shown a capability to make plays with his legs. A touchdown to open the game with his feet, dropping the shoulder down as well. So you have to be cautious of that if you're BC, as that is a multi-threat pivot in Bankay-Babona.
Yeah, great job there, as you said there, Mike, by Bankay-Babona, to just kind of see what he can as long as he can down the field. Decides to check down to his feet. Going to get about half the yardage here. Going to be second and very manageable at 2nd and 6. Going to be that H-back jumbo kind of packed backfield here. It's going to be an inside handoff to number 21. He's got space, Mike. It's going to be a first down for Team Alberta.
Malachi Polishin under the Calgary Stampeders took that one off tackle and bursted ahead for a first down again, following some exceptional blocking from the Hoggies up front. Everybody holds the line. You see big number 64, Jivan Krishna and Ryland Rem going at 5'10", 305 on the scales for Krishna, and Rem at 5'11", 215, pushing ahead, creating space for the back Polishin on that carry. Split backs once again for Bankay-Babona. We've got 2 receivers to the strong side. That one handed off gain of close to 5 on first down. Once again, it's Polish, and he's taken down by Ben Scott Curry.
Yeah, so a bit of a change in the backfield here for Team Alberta, as Lowe is going to get the majority of the carries here on this possession. Excuse me, not Lowe. I'm looking at the wrong roster there. Polishin, thank you, Mike, is getting the carries on this possession, as Weigel is taking some well-deserved rest here, as Alberta does not matter who's in the game at quarterback or at running back. They are moving the ball at will. We'll see what the play call here is on 2nd and medium for Team Alberta.
Weigel on the sideline there, really enjoying himself, talking to his teammates about what he's been seeing out there from this BC defense. As once again, this is Bourgeois motioning. This one is passed off to Deshaun Duncan. What a play by Deshaun Duncan. That's going to be near the first down, and another late flag. Hands on his head is Carter Wickens, who seems to be a bit frustrated. I think this one's going against BC.
That's one of those unforced errors that Team BC just simply cannot afford, Mike. Great job there by Alberta executing the RPO style run play there, run pass option play, getting the ball out into the flats to the big fullback. Great job here, just kind of sets his feet, gets north and south, going to be tackled and rallied up underneath. Not sure if we're going to see what the flag here is on the replay, but nonetheless, it will be going against Team BC, and Alberta is going to get another chunk of free yardage.
Get the call here from our officials, an unnecessary roughness penalty against BC. That cost them, Tyler, on that first drive with a couple tough ones. They took at one point 30 yards in penalties on a face, this was later, but on a face mask and a UR.
Yeah, just undisciplined stuff you can't have in a tournament like this, right? You got to maximize all your possessions on offense and defense, trying to make sure you're staying on the field and getting off the field on defense, right? So this kind of stuff is going to be absolutely killer to Team BC and their morale kind of moving forward.
Banke Babona again with split backs. You've got Polishin as well as Michael Lorenzen in the backfield. Banke Babona is going to go deep. Single coverage.
No.
And there's going to be a PI call against BC as the DB had his back to the play.
Yeah.
Did not make an attempt at the ball, simply screened the receiver there.
Yep.
And that's going to be a pretty easy call for the officials.
Yeah, that's going to be correct. It's an unfortunate take there in the PI, but you're right, Mike. He did not turn around. He screened 100% of the way. You'll see good ball placement here on that fade ball towards that back pylon. As, the coverage is there, but, no turnaround, no attempt at playing the football. That's going to be a flag all day, every day here in minor football. So that one's going to move up once again. Another 15-yard penalty. This one will go to the 1.
Alberta up 37-0 on their second drive of the third quarter. They've certainly racked up the TOP in this contest, and especially in the third quarter. So we've seen, I believe, just a combined 3 drives in the third quarter. So Banke Babona under center. Motioning is Park. Handoff is once again to Weigel for the second time. Hello, nice to meet you in the end zone. Derek Weigel adds to the Alberta lead.
Yeah, once again, we're going to see the big boy in number 8 from Team Alberta rumbling and stumbling, going to cross the plane, standing up. They're going to do that exact same short yardage play we saw earlier in the second quarter, that jet motion underneath across from Ryland Park. Going to have Weigel coming up with a no pull, just a straight lead play there from Team Alberta, but great job once again by the big boys up front for the Alberta offensive line, moving bodies north and south. Weigel's going to walk in, standing up, as we're going to extend this lead to 43-0 as the clock will continue to run here with the mercy rule in effect.
Extra point up and good. Alberta listening to their head coach, Jordan Filippelli, who demanded more under the team in the second half. They obviously had a healthy lead, but felt that they could keep that level of excellence, raise that standard even higher, and they have certainly done so with 2 touchdowns on 2 drives in the third quarter.
Yeah, Coach Filippelli doing an absolutely flawless job. We were speaking with Brian Doby here over the halftime break, and as anybody who knows Coach Doby knows that when he starts talking, it's a little tough to get him to stop talking.
That's
in the nicest possible way. He's a great man, of course, and an absolute GOAT here in Manitoba football. But I should have asked him about Coach Filippelli. Obviously, he had coached against the Calgary Dinos for a long time coming, and Calgary was the peak of Canada West football there for a long time in the early 2010s. But yeah, what Coach Filippelli and his staff have got here going is going to set them up really, really nice going into Saturday's final game here, as they're likely going to be playing for gold unless something absolutely dramatic changes over the next 12 minutes.
Fielded at the 18-yard line, taking it up past the 25, up near the 27-yard line. Eventually taken down, Michael Lorenzen on the tackle as Andre Sato returned that kick. As that'll do it for the third quarter. You mentioned it, Tyler. The runtime rule is in effect as it is over a 30-point lead for Alberta. So the clock will continue to go once we have the whistle to begin quarter four. Team BC at this point looking to build some confidence for their next matchup against the loser of Manitoba and Saskatchewan in the bronze medal game, unless something
it's got to be pretty dramatic,
pretty crazy happens here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, there's announcers jinx, and we know we're not really going to cross that bridge because we don't need to. But what Alberta has done, both sides, all three facets of the game, they have dominated on offense, dominated on defense, and absolutely smothered on the special teams units. Yeah, granted, BC had a few opportunities with some missed times and a few balls that were misplaced in the first half. But we'll see here. If BC can get a couple touchdowns, a score or two going into this fourth quarter, kind of build some momentum, get some momentum going into that bronze medal game, assuming that this result stays the exact same as we expect it to.
Reed Dixon rolls to his left. He's got time. Couldn't find the intended target, who was open, Roshan Dosanjh. 2nd and 10 for Team BC.
Yeah, I kind of like. I mean, granted, Reed Dixon's only been on the field for, I believe this is only his second possession of the second half. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Mike. But as the clock is moving fast, great job there, just rolling out, buying a lot of time. Bit of a misplacement on that football as he kind of put it in between two different receivers there, running the levels concept to the short side of the field as the ball you see the ball fall dead and away there on the replay. But we'll see if Dixon can convert here on 2nd and 10, Mike.
Absolutely. Alberta definitely owned the time of possession in the third, as that one is complete to Dosanjh. Again, this time he's able to make the play. And as you just talked about, this is our second drive seeing Reed Dixon for Team BC, as he only had 2 plays to really get it done in that third quarter. Nice to see a little bit of momentum here from Team BC. You already saw his mobility on side of the pocket.
Yeah, good job there. Kind of the same play to the other side of the field that we saw there on 1st and 10 by Dixon to just execute. This time, good ball placement, getting the ball into the running back's hands. Going to be 7, and there was zero hesitation coming from Coach Daniels and the BC coaching staff. And it will be a 3rd down gamble after the Team Alberta defender gets tended to here from the training staff of the Alberta team.
And again, while we have a chance, just want to thank some of our sponsors. Another big thank you, Winnipeg Tourism, for their guidance and support in helping showcase this great city of Winnipeg and the province of Manitoba. Their expertise and hospitality have been invaluable in welcoming teams and guests from across the country. As well, Executive Sports Apparel, the official merchandise supplier of this tournament. Thanks to them, the event gear looks sharp and represents all teams in style.
Looks like the Alberta defender is going to walk off under his own power here. It looks like it's D'Angelo Austin, as he'll continue to get looked at from the training staff as he makes his way to the sidelines. Going to be a big 3rd down here, Mike. Going to be about 3rd and 4. We'll see what the play call is here. I imagine Dixon's going to get out around the edge again and kind of give him that run-pass option. We'll have to see as this whistled in.
Reed Dixon. Empty backfield now as he looks for a 1st down, and that one incomplete, in and out of the hands of the intended target he was trying to find. Marcus Bonus, pretty good ball. That's probably one Bonus wants back.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of the tale of the afternoon here for Team BC is the drops and essentially miscommunications from between the quarterback and the receivers. Ball placements have been an issue, drops have been an issue, kind of all the way around. So BC's offense definitely has something to work on over the next couple of days before they get into Saturday's final game. Saturday morning they'll be playing out here at the Mustangs Field again at 10 a.m. But we'll kind of see if they can get a stop and get, you want to see BC kind of get into the end zone, get some momentum moving, but we'll see what Alberta does here, scrimmaging from BC's 35-yard line as we once again see the quarter split at quarterback here as Pascal is back in the game under center.
Banke Babona's day, I think, is done. He's got the towel on his head. Yeah. I think he's all set to get prepped for the gold medal game as Pascal completes that one. Swing pass up near the first down marker, still on his feet. That is going to be, I think, right near a first. Excellent work by Ben Bourgeois on the pass from Pascal.
Yeah, just a good timing route just to the slip receiver screen to the short side of the field as you see the receiver just stop and the two slot backs go out and ahead and get some blocking done for him. Great job there by number 9 in Bourgeois to move the chains, or at the very low. He's going to be about a half yard short here, Mike. They got to move the ball about the length of the football to get a first down. So essentially a free play here for the Team Alberta offense. We'll see what the play call is from Coach Filippelli and his offensive staff if they decide to be vanilla here and just run the ball up the gut, move the chains, or if you try to take a shot, make something happen exciting.
Pascal's going to hand it off. Another bruiser back. We've already seen him showcase his talent. And once again, Deshaun Duncan, fresh set for Alberta.
This Alberta team, top to bottom, is absolutely loaded with talent. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It doesn't matter who's at receiver. It doesn't matter who's at running back. The big boys up front rotating through. All of them are doing an absolutely fantastic job. Great job there, as you mentioned there, Mike, by Deshaun Duncan on the inside zone play. Gets about 15 yards there on 2nd and an inch to move the chains. Going to be first and goal here for Team Alberta.
Pascal once again is going to give it to Duncan. Spins away from first contact. Taken down after a few yards for a man in Duncan who is listed on the scales at 5'6", 170. I mean, he's got some good moves.
He's a really good kind of one cut, but he'll move around really quickly in that backfield. Does a great job of getting his foot in the ground and getting north and south, can move his hips and make guys miss as he makes a good jump cut in the backfield, tries to spin back against the grain, but still going to be positive yards there on first down, going to be inside the 5-yard line here, 2nd and goal.
Pascal, the single back is Micah Lorenzen. Lorenzen now motions out, empty backfield. Nice taking play. It on the jet sweep, but nothing doing. Sensational work from Daniel Lowe. And I got to tell you, Tyler, Daniel Lowe has been probably one of my favorite players to watch on BC. He's been really effective in the passing game, using his range out there at safety. Comes up and makes the stuff there now on defense, and he's also been returning punts.
Absolutely. Number 21 is having himself an afternoon here. Despite what the scoreboard says, he has been all over the field defensively and on the units. As you mentioned there, Mike, great job of recognizing that fly sweep coming across the formation from Team Alberta. Good job of setting up it will be the 2nd field goal attempt here for Team Alberta, as the first one came from the 55-yard line. It turned into a punt, essentially. This one's going to be much closer, going to be about 15 yards away.
Off the goalpost. That's a dead ball. Had it not been, David Krashenescu, the kicker, was going to try and do it himself, but for BC, that's a break that you got to be happy to see as they limit that drive. And again, that was an exceptional open field tackle by Daniel Lowe. Those are the little things that you take into the bronze medal game. You know, you celebrate those successes, rally around your teammates, making a stop there on defense, and
Absolutely.
Just continue to play with pride, Tyler.
100%. Yeah, that's the wins like that are going to carry over for these kids, right? Yeah, they're 14, 15 years old in this tournament, being the under-16 tournament. And if you can carry in momentum like that, getting that big tackle, as you mentioned, Mike, setting up the 3rd down, and then you get the missed field goal on top of that. So they're going to escape that drive with no points scored against. Yeah, they're still down 44-0. That's irrelevant at this point for Team BC. This is just about building on those small victories here. See if this offense can do something now with the football.
Reed Dixon out for his third possession, and he's going to go deep single coverage. Incomplete. No thank you, says Dante Rogers. Jeremiah Assumption, who's been targeted quite a few times here, tried to make a one-handed snag, but that was lockdown from Dante Rogers, the DB on a Spruce Grove, Alberta.
Great job, as you mentioned there, by Rogers, as we'll get a good look here on the replay. I don't mind the ball placement here at all from Dixon, giving his receiver a chance in one-on-one coverage. But number 12 from Alberta and Dante Rogers does an absolutely picturesque job in strapping down the short side receiver.
Dixon back to pass. Swing pass out of the backfield. Can the receiver make a man miss? No. Once again, it's a sensational play made by Dante Rogers, going back to hold that gain, as the catch was made by Simon Klukas.
Yeah, once again, 2 back-to-back plays. Fantastic job done by the aforementioned Dante Rogers. He was responsible for that curl flat zone, and then just rallied up to that swing pass, made the tackle in the open field. Dixon's going to drop back to pass here on third down, going to throw this one out to the wide side of the field, and it's not going to be enough. Great job there by number 17 in Adrian Chen, 14. No, that
Preston Lutchman makes the play for Alberta.
Thank you.
That offense has been obviously swinging for the fences all game for Alberta, but this defense as well, Tyler, physical. Really stepping up with some great stuffs on defense.
Yeah, obviously we have the next game to come between Saskatchewan and Manitoba, but whoever comes out of that football game is going to be in for an absolute fight with this Coach Filippelli-led Alberta team, top to bottom, offense, defense, and special teams, all just playing phenomenal football here this afternoon, Mike.
Certainly. And I want to shout out Rogers, Dante Rogers. He goes 5'5", 120.
That's
doesn't
phenomenal.
play 5'5", 120.
Not at all.
As back on the field for Alberta is Bastian Pascal, and this offense, what a cut there. And a late flag on top of it is going to add more yardage. Malachi Polishin and Tyler, there's just so many weapons on this Alberta offense.
Yeah, it does not matter, as we've kind of said a few times here. It's going to be a hold on Alberta, so this one's going to come back. It's going to be before yards, so it will be 1st and 20, but look at this jump cut. Whoop! See you later. I think if that's the hole. Oh, okay. Well, there is the hold on that play. I'm not sure exactly who it was from. It's going to be somebody downfield. Nonetheless, going to back them up. Going to be 1st and 20 here. But my goodness, that was a phenomenal jump cut there from Polishin and the Alberta running back.
1st and long. We'll see what this Alberta offense draws up.
They creep underneath 3 minutes after the snap.
Bastian Pascal has a cannon on him, and he also has the ability to make plays with his feet. It's a split back formation for Alberta with Polishin and Lorenzen in the backfield. It's going to be a pass here from Pascal. He faces pressure. Man in his face, he was trying to find Polishin. Incomplete.
Yeah, once again, just a great job of kind of getting that ball away there by Pascal. The coverage was there, the protection was there at first. It kind of broke down after a few seconds, which is to be expected by any offensive line, but good job by Pascal to get the ball away, found a receiver. Unfortunately, going to be an incomplete pass, but they will live to see another down. It's going to be 2nd and long, as you will hear the 3-minute warning blown to both benches as we creep inside of 3 minutes here. 2.5 remaining here in this football game, as Alberta is going to look to coast into the gold medal game on Saturday.
Pascal back to pass once more. Again, he feels pressure. He's got 4 BC players trying to make the tackle. He gets by all 4 of them. He has a man downfield. Incomplete. Looking for Michael Lorenzen, but by God, Tyler, Pascal just ran past 4 BC defenders on the play. Goodness.
That is the BC defensive line and defensive line coach and defensive coaching staff. That is not going to be a fun film review tomorrow for those boys, as all 4 of them were in pursuit. And yeah, Pascal's got wheels. He's got good hips. But look at this kid try to make a play. Going to be able to get around. And doesn't even decide to run. Has the vision downfield to get this ball off. And oh boy, was he free and clear and wide open. Unfortunately, that's a really tough throw to make by the young pivot as we're going to see a long field goal attempt. They're going to put the puck down at about the 39. Well, wow. I mean, let's play a good guessing game here, Mike. We got to pick an offensive and defensive player of the game. Who do you give it to for Team Alberta? Both quarterbacks ballin'. Weigel ballin'. Park ballin', Martell ballin'. Like, the entire offense has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it's hard to make a call on that one. I'm going to personally go with the first quarterback that we saw in this game, Davin Banke-Babona, because he got the momentum going on that first drive. And I just think when you've had so many weapons, it started with him, got the team going. He did it with his legs on the ground with the touchdown. He also had a passing touchdown. That would be my pick personally, offensively. Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
I mean, if I could, I'd give it to the big boys up front. I know that's not a realistic option, so I'll give it to Weigel. The running back has done a phenomenal job of moving bodies, moving downfield, not being tackled by the first player, as that field goal was up and low to the right. Going to result in a single point for Team Alberta, so which will result in a 45-0 scoreline. We're ticking inside of 30 seconds. Only going to be a couple snaps left here in this football game. And make sure you stick around for that aforementioned player of the game, offensive and defensive on both sides of the ball. We'll see what happens here on the last couple possessions, or last plays of the game. Oh, good.
Yes, Tyler, classic move for you, a former offensive lineman, to go with the Hoggies up front. I can't disagree. They've been tremendous. Talked about off the top, enormous size up front.
Very
big,
very athletic offensive line. All of these guys can move bodies, move their feet, get going up to second level, get into linebackers. Like I said, I've said it 5, 6, 7, 8 times, so the fans at home are probably getting a little bored of it. But Coach Filippelli, an all-star, all-Canadian himself at the position, I expect nothing less than having a group like this ready for this tournament. Great job all the way around, Alberta's coaching staff.
Once again, and on the last play of the game, going deep is Dixon, incomplete, and that's going to do it. Team Alberta will move on to the gold medal game and a chance at redemption as they face off against the winner of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Alberta lost last year's gold medal game by just 3, 18-15, and now they have a shot to bring gold back to the province of Alberta. A sensational showing in this game. Tyler, your final thoughts?
Yeah, Alberta from top to bottom, kind of a broken record at this point. All three facets of this football game, offense, defense, special teams, completely dominant of Team BC. 45-0 is a fantastic scoreline. Alberta's going to have a good time kind of watching that film tomorrow morning. But do not get me wrong, they're probably going to stick around. At the minimum, the coaching staff will stick around to watch the football game that will be kicking off in about an hour and a half here from Winnipeg at 7 Central between the host Manitoba and Prairie rivals in Saskatchewan. But yeah, Alberta gonna be a very, very tough beat for whoever comes out of that second football game here this afternoon, Mike. Very well coached top to bottom. And as I mentioned, BC did a great job coming in. They are transitioning from 11 to 12-man football to play in this tournament. That's a lot to ask from these young kids. Coaching staff did a great job of getting these guys ready. BC is going to be ready to go and play for bronze here on Saturday as well. They are not going to get walked over in that football game. They will be ready to play.
There's a lot of athletes out there, a whole lot of dogs. This is the best of the best at the U16
100%.
level in Western Canada, and you saw it on both sides of the ball. Exceptional athleticism and playmaking abilities from each side.
Absolutely, as we'll see the players' handshake line going through here. Make sure you stick around to watch that player of the game presentation to both teams here as they will line up on their respected 45-yard lines. An offensive and defensive player. And shocker here, Mike, the GOAT, Brian Doby, is on the field to present the player of the game trophy. Yeah, the man retired this past season as the coach of the Manitoba Bisons. Coached me for 5 years. We were reminiscing about our 2014 UTEC Bowl loss over the halftime break to the eventual Vanier Cup champions in the Montreal Carabin. But yeah, Coach Doby obviously very, very, very highly respected in the football community here in Manitoba, and he will be the one on the field to present the player of the game trophy and certificates to Alberta and BC, respectively.
And Rick Hankiewicz.
Hey, yeah!
Let's not forget about Rick.
Hey,
Rick
former
Hankiewicz.
high school commissioner, been coaching forever. Was able to chat with him a little bit there. Thank you for getting that one in there, Mike. Rick Hankiewicz, obviously very, very respected as well in football.
Rick is a great friend of mine. I have nothing but love for Rick. What he's done for the game as well is incredible. And also, let's not forget, he has a huge coaching history in this province also at all levels, the professional level all the way down. Even most recently, as a few years ago, was coaching at Garden City with that program. So he's certainly...
I think he's still kind of half involved at Sisler maybe as well.
As we get the player of the game for BC being handed out, and goodness me, they got to turn the jersey here. I think that's 21 if I can see correctly. Yep. Number 21, Daniel Lowe, and that is who I thought it would be, Tyler. He had an absolutely phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Talked about him, showed him love all game long. Yeah. What range from that safety position, return kicks, stuffs in the backfield on those fly sweeps.
Yes. Yeah, very well, much deserved there from the defensive secondary player in Lowe for Team BC.
And it's Jeremiah Sunshin. He had a few different opportunities to make plays there. He broke open for Team BC multiple times. Good size, good athleticism, and I'm excited to see him in the bronze medal game as well. That should be really fun to watch. 6'1", 196 he goes.
That's a great
size. On its Holy Cross secondary. And the North Surrey minor football program, but most recently the Holy Cross Crusaders. Defensive player of the game for Alberta, 42, Cullen McElwain, 5'10", 180 out of the Calgary Colts program. And that Alberta defense just lights out all game long. And BC went to the pass quite often in this one. Of course, when you go down early, sort of needed to resort to that, but they got great pressure as well, and McElwain was a big part of that. And now it's anybody's guess. You can pick about 7 players from this Alberta offense for player of the game, and they're going to go with the bully ball back. It's going to be Derek Weigel. We called him the bowling ball. He had 2 tutties in this game, 5'8", 205, and his ability to set the standard in the run game helped open up the pass, Tyler.
Absolutely, an absolutely phenomenal performance there from the young man in Weigel. Pretty much untackleable there for Team Alberta, running over multiple defenders from Team BC. Very well deserved. Hey, I'm going to do it anyway. Shout out to that offensive line without the big boys up front. You can't run the ball, right? But yeah, great job there, obviously, by Weigel to do exactly what he needed to do, as you see Coach Doby and Coach Filippelli having a quick handshake and a hug after this one concludes.
Well, thanks everyone to tune in to watch the first game of the U16 Western Challenge. We would love it if you could continue watching and supporting amateur football in the province of Canada. It's a province of Canada.
Yeah,
in the country of Canada. Woo! It is hot up here in the booth. We've got Manitoba and Saskatchewan coming at you live at 7 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back then.
Will it ever be